Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor and pleasure of welcoming you to Humanity's first premier event of the year. This year is very special to us in many ways. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary, and we're marking this occasion by helping those in need in Africa by responding to the Ebola crisis. Moreover, this year, the event is very special as we have very special guests that have joined us. We thank you for joining us, and we hope you will enjoy the rest of the evening. We hope you will return tonight with appreciation of what Humanity First does around the globe and in Canada. Thank you for being part of this special occasion. It is part of our tradition that we start our programs and any disaster relief activities with a moment of silence and prayers for the victims of various disasters. For this purpose, I request Mr. Lal Khan Malik, the President of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Canada, to please come to the stage to lead us into a moment of silence and prayers.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon all of you. Please join me in a moment of silence or prayers for the victims of the various disasters around the world. Amin. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Malik. I now like to invite young children to the stage to sing O Canada. I request everyone in the hall to please stand up.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command. With glorying hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you so much. I now like to introduce to you Dr. Aslam Daud, who is the chairman of Humanity First Canada. He's been the chairman of Humanity First Canada since it was founded in North America from 2002. Dr. Daud.
Thank you, Mubashir. Once again, on behalf of Humanity First Canada, I welcome you all and thank you very much for coming here, for showing your support. It is my honor and pleasure now to invite on stage our dear friend and Minister of Citizenship and Immigration and who's Member of Parliament for Ajax, Ontario, Minister Chris Alexander. Minister Alexander was elected to the House of Commons in May 2011. In July 2013, Minister Alexander was appointed Minister of Citizenship and Immigration. Previously, he was appointed Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of National Defense in May 2011. Prior to entering federal politics, Mr. Alexander served Canada as a diplomat. His first posting was at the Canadian Embassy in Russia, and in 2003, he became Canada's first resident ambassador in Kabul, Afghanistan. Between 2005 and 2009, he served as a Deputy Special Representative of United Nations Assistance Mission in Afghanistan. Minister Alexander will introduce the special guest of tonight. Please welcome Minister Chris Alexander.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dawood, for that introduction. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good evening. And before I begin, let me acknowledge a couple of our colleagues that are here from the Parliament of Canada. The Honourable Julian Fantino, Member of Parliament for Vaughan, Minister of Veterans Affairs. Julian, are you here? He'll be joining us shortly. And the Member of Parliament for Barrie, sitting right in front of me, Patrick Brown. Big thank you to them for being here as Conservative members of Parliament. We are proud to be with you here on this very special occasion. And I'd like to thank you, Dr. Dawood, and all of the organizers, all the leaders of this community for making it happen, for making it the tremendous success that we are enjoying. We're here to commemorate the hard work and dedication of Humanity First Canada, of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat of Canada. We salute your charitable work and tremendous track record. Through 10 years of unwavering service, your organization has continuously risen to the challenge of strengthening our communities and our country. And our nation's diversity is such a tremendous success thanks to achievements like yours. Now, our special guest tonight is no stranger to hard work. He, more than anyone, knows that enduring achievements require leadership in creating jobs for Canadians, especially for young people, leadership in sustaining growth and prosperity, even when the world is turbulent and the future for many other countries uncertain, leadership in being the first in the G7 to return to balance, in returning savings earned by your discipline to hardworking Canadian families with children. He has made Canada, as you know, a world leader for research excellence, for immigration, for its business environment. He has been a champion of freedom at a time when others counsel inaction or compromise. Under his leadership, Canada is fighting ISIL terrorism in Iraq. We are helping refugees escape certain death. We are speaking the truth about Putin's aggression in Ukraine, and we are improving the health of mothers and children around the world and working to end forced marriage. You know, as I do, that in today's world, it is this quality of leadership that makes the difference. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our leader, the Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honourable Stephen Harper.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Bonsoir. Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you, Chris, for those very kind words, and also thanks to Dr. Dawood for keeping us all organized this evening. Greetings to Patrick Brown, also my colleague who's joining us here this evening. Greetings also most particularly to Lal Khan Malik, President of the Canadian Ahmadiyya community, and indeed all members of the community who have joined us here tonight. I want to thank all of you for coming. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I recall with great pleasure our last meeting with the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Canada. That was more than a year ago. You hosted us as we announced that Canada would establish an Office of Religious Freedom headed by an ambassador. It was a great day, and I'm delighted to be here with you once again. I have two things I want to share with you this evening. First, I just want to say that I find it personally very encouraging that this dinner celebrates 10 years of charitable work and disaster relief by Humanity First Canada, a mission of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. We are well aware of your good works. Through our, give them a big hand. Through our government's program of matching funds for disaster relief, we have been partners in responding to the devastation caused by several incidents, including both the earthquake in Haiti 4 years ago and also the floods in Pakistan that followed a year later. And earlier this year, our government assisted Humanity First through the Typhoon Haiyan Relief Fund. Avec la contribution de notre gouvernement, Humanity First construit 284 maisons et rénové 4 écoles et une garderie dans les Philippines. Je vous félicite. With our government's contribution, Humanity First is building 284 houses and rehabilitating 4 schools and 1 daycare center in the Philippines. So I congratulate you all for that tremendous work. Your heavy reliance on the service of volunteers, and I met many tonight, men and women who are often highly qualified in their fields of expertise. This is what makes you such a valuable partner. Put simply, you make our money go a long way. We like that. I'm also delighted to learn that you will be using the proceeds of tonight's dinner to respond to the West Africa Ebola in Senegal. Canada has made significant investments to combat the spread of Ebola in the region. For some months, this country has deployed mobile laboratories, experimental vaccine, and medical equipment. Canadian troops and medical personnel are now being ready to go to the affected areas, and we're hopeful that a vaccine developed by a Canadian company will prove to be an effective antidote. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, and I know that's why you're so committed to this cause, Ebola is a horrible way to die. So thank you for your support in this extremely important effort to contain its spread and relieve the suffering of thousands of people. However, tonight, friends, I also wish to talk about a second subject. I wish to offer a brief reflection upon the recent acts of terrorism in Canada and our appreciation of your response to them. I'm speaking, of course, of the attack in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu that took the life of Warrant Officer Patrice Vincent and the murder of Corporal Nathan Cirillo at the National War Memorial. As we all know, these were disgraceful, shocking acts perpetrated by individuals, sadly, by self-professed Muslims in the name of Islam. How important it was that the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat categorically and unequivocally condemned both the actions themselves and the terrorists who committed those acts. Those acts, you said, and I quote, were the acts of heartless cowards and have no basis in any religion. You prayed for those taken from us and for the protection of all Canadians from harm. You prayed that terrorists would be brought to justice. Then, for the 4th year in a row, you stood with the Guardians of Canada by raising money for veterans through your Muslims for Remembrance Day campaign. And of course, you've launched your own campaign to counteract youth radicalization, speaking with boldness to the very heart of the problem. Your words and your actions are of great importance. Tout comme vous voulez entendre que votre communauté est appréciée chez nous, les Canadiens non musulmans veulent aussi entendre leurs voisins musulmans dire que l'islam est une force de paix dans notre pays et non une chose à craindre. Vous, les Ahmadis, les rassurez sur ce point. Just as you need to hear that your community is embraced by this country, so non-Muslim Canadians also want to hear from their Muslim neighbors that Islam is a force for peace in our country and not something to be feared. You offer them this reassurance, just as we also understand that communities like yours are often among the most at risk from attacks from violent extremists. And so together we must unite around our common values: freedom, democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. La liberté, la démocratie, les droits de la personne et la primauté du droit. Malheureusement, comme la civilisation elle-même, ces valeurs sont toujours ancrées dans une seule génération à la fois. Nous devons, chacun de nous, les enseigner à nos enfants. Unfortunately, like civilization itself, these values are only ever a single generation deep. We must, all of us, teach them to our children and hold them dearly in our hearts. And these principles by which our country lives should be affirmed often in our public discourse. One more thing. I recently had the honor to meet with Her Majesty Queen Rania of Jordan. Now, I understand full well that Her Majesty is not a member of the Ahmadiyya community. Nevertheless, I was impressed by her insights. Speaking of the terror campaign waged by the so-called Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, ISIL, Her Majesty warned that a minority of irreligious extremists is using social media to rewrite the Muslim narrative and hijack the Muslim identity. She added, "Those who are silent on this issue are complicit." Well, when terror in the name of Islam came to Canada's door, you were not silent. You spoke up, you acted, you earned our appreciation. You have all of our respect, and thank you for doing that. Friends, I will just close with this, as I've said it before, but it bears repetition. Ahmadis are known throughout the world for your devotion to peace, universal brotherhood, and the will of God, the core principles of true Islam. And as we spoke of earlier, Ahmadis are also known for serving the greater good, like through Humanity First, in many other ways. In fact, wherever Ahmadis live in the world, you are famous for participating fully in the larger community and living peacefully alongside peoples of all languages, cultures, and faiths. All of this places Ahmadiyya Muslims squarely in the mainstream of Canadian society. We live in a country that embraces cultures and religions from the world over. We are proud of that, proud of the strong Canada, united in pluralism, that we are building. When you take your place in the public square and you proclaim love for all, hatred for none, and that however we understand God, it is wrong to kill in his name, you are in a most essential way a partner, a neighbor, and a friend to all Canadians. So thank you for that, and thank you for having me here this evening and for all of your contributions to our great country. Merci beaucoup.
Right Honourable Prime Minister of Canada, on behalf of Humanity First and on behalf of Ahmadiyya Muslim community, all its volunteers, donors, supporters, and our esteemed guests tonight, I thank you for being here. Your presence at this event is a source of encouragement for all of us and will translate into more volunteerism and for humanitarian causes. Loyalty to Canada is part of our faith, and we are partnered with you in all the good work Canada is doing around the world. We are very much honored and extremely delighted to have you here with us, but we also understand that your time is extremely precious and you have to leave to attend to other important matters. We are very grateful and wish you all the best. Thank you very much for being here.
Next item on our program for this evening is a video presentation that was prepared in Africa, where Humanity First is currently assisting with the efforts in various countries in Africa. I'd like to ask the AV team to please start the video presentation.
As this rare and deadly disease continues to ravage West Africa, how safe are we? Welcome to Watch Mojo News, the weekly series where we break down news stories that might be on your radar. In this installment, we're counting down 10 crucial facts you should know about Ebola. Number 10, what is it? Officially known as Ebola hemorrhagic fever, this is a highly infectious disease caused by the Ebola virus. First discovered in Africa in 1976 during simultaneous outbreaks in 2 African countries, this disease has since taken the lives of thousands. There are 5 separate species of the virus, all with varying degrees of deadliness. The strain responsible for the 2014 outbreak, called Zaire Ebola virus, is the most deadly.
And that basically means you develop symptoms of flu, then you develop joint pain, and you eventually start to have bleeding. And that's ultimately what leads to death in these patients. So it's very concerning. Death rates can be as high as 90% sometimes with Ebola.
Number 9, where did it come from? Humans are not the natural host of the Ebola virus. It's believed that the first person in any of the outbreaks becomes infected through contact with an infected animal. Scientists now believe that bats are the natural reservoir for the virus and that it's transmitted to apes and humans through food or contact with surfaces that have been drooled or defecated on by infected animals. According to Doctors Without Borders, the 2014 outbreak originated in a village in Gekidu Prefecture in Guinea, where bat hunting is a common activity. Number 8, how many are infected? The United Nations called the 2014 West Africa Ebola virus outbreak a crisis unparalleled in modern times. After the first case was reported in March 2014, 5 West African countries and the United States were next to report instances of Ebola, with thousands having already contracted the virus.
Ebola is now an epidemic of the likes that we have not seen before. It's spiraling out of control. It is getting worse. It's spreading faster and exponentially.
This made the 2014 outbreak the largest and most complex one since the disease's discovery. In fact, according to the World Health Organization, the sheer size of the outbreak in terms of cases and deaths outnumbers all previous outbreaks combined. Number 7, how contagious is it? The incubation period for the Ebola virus can run between 2 and 21 days, meaning it can take that period of time for a person to develop symptoms, at which point they become infectious. In order to prevent transmission, avoid contact with an infected person's or animal's bodily fluids, like blood, saliva, urine, or semen. Transmission can occur through infected medical equipment, like needles, hospital beds or sheets, traditional burial rites, and more.
It's really only in the African setting, in these resource-poor rural areas of Africa, where there's very little water or soap or hygiene practices, that you really see efficient transmission of this virus.
Number 6, how will I die?
I started out with a fever, and I felt really weak and achy, had a headache, and I thought I had malaria.
Ebola first manifests as a common flu, with symptoms like headache, fever, aches, and pains. At that point, approximately 50% of cases take a turn for the worse, as victims can begin to bleed internally and externally, possibly causing them to vomit blood and bleed from their eyes. However, death typically occurs when the blood vessels deep in the body begin to leak fluid, thereby causing blood pressure to plummet and triggering heart, kidney, liver, and other organ failure. Number 5, is there a cure? There is presently no cure for Ebola, and therefore, sufferers are treated with only supportive therapy. This includes balancing their fluids and maintaining their oxygen levels and blood pressure. Currently, the United States and Canadian governments are in the process of fast-tracking the production of several vaccines, including ZMapp, which has shown promising results in patients with Ebola.
It's difficult to produce these particular types of antibody cocktails, and it's not at the level of being able to mass produce.
Number 4, how quickly will I die? Once symptoms appear, the course of the illness is very quick. It typically only lasts between 6 to 10 days. That being said, the prognosis for those infected with Ebola is grim. By October 2014, the death rate of that year's outbreak hovered around 48%. However, while this number may seem high, it's relatively low compared to previous occurrences when death rates soared as high as 90%. Number 3, how do we contain it?
The Ebola virus is spreading at alarming speed.
Standard control procedures for limiting Ebola transmission include basic hygiene, quarantining the sick or suspected Ebola victims, enforcing proper burial methods, and engaging the community. However, the 2014 epidemic grew so fast, containment efforts were unable to keep up. According to Doctors Without Borders, it will take months before government and healthcare workers in Africa will successfully overtake the virus. Additionally, in some parts of West Africa, the population is superstitious of doctors and instead turns to witch doctors for treatment. This has also led to an increase of transmission of the virus.
If we look back in time, MSF have been able to cope with outbreaks that have been going on from year to year because they have been small. But at the moment, we are down on our knees. So who else is there?
Number 2, who is contracting it? Amid all the Ebola stories, there are a few notable cases. The first is the death of Sheikh Omar Khan, Sierra Leone's only specialized doctor. Dr. Khan was a hero in his country as he led the fight against Ebola and other viruses. In July 2014, Dr. Khan became ill. His colleagues debated the merits of giving him the highly experimental ZMapp vaccine, but finally decided against it, and Khan succumbed to the virus.
You died for humanity, for this country.
Later that month, 2 American missionaries sick with Ebola were given the experimental vaccine and thankfully made a full recovery. On October 6, 2014, Spanish nurse Maria Teresa Romero Ramos became the first person to contract Ebola outside of West Africa. It's believed that she contracted the virus by touching her face after tending to a sick missionary in Spain. Number 1, how will the world overcome Ebola?
We are not moving fast enough. We are not doing enough.
According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, in a worst-case scenario, if nothing changes its course, Ebola could infect up to 1.4 million people by the end of January 2015. Due to the incubation period, many countries have set up checkpoints at airports to test travelers for symptoms, with certain airlines suspending all flights from affected countries. Certain countries have even gone so far as to close their airports to travelers from Ebola-ravaged countries. On the upside, the 2014 outbreak has seen a large surge in donations of money and resources, as more than a dozen countries pledged troops and supplies to build vital medical treatment centers.
Everybody's got to move fast in order for us to make a difference. And if we do, we'll save hundreds of thousands of lives.
Did these facts surprise you? To vote for which news story is covered next, head over to watchmojo.com/suggest.
I would now like to invite Dr. Asam Daud to the stage to please do a presentation on the topic of a journey of decade, humanity first, serving mankind.
Thank you very much, Mubashir. Assalamu alaikum and good evening once again. I know it is going to be very difficult for me to speak after such a beautiful speech by our esteemed guest, Right Honorable Prime Minister. But I'm going to take you to a very quick and a very brief journey of a decade of humanitarian services that Humanity First has been doing around the world. It's going to be a very quick one because it takes a long time to travel for 10 years. But this journey has been very inspiring, very successful, and very rewarding to all of you because it was not a journey that somebody took alone. It was a journey of everyone who is supporting Humanity First, who has been with Humanity First, who has been donating with Humanity First, who has been volunteering with Humanity First. It is a journey of Ahmadiyya Muslim community, which started more than 70 years ago, doing humanitarian work in Africa under various banners. More recently, this work is being done under the banner of Humanity First. We are now registered in 44 countries, and we are doing relief work, poverty elevation projects, and many more. So please join me to this journey, which I'm going to begin with a message of His Holiness, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, the Supreme Head of the worldwide Ahmadiyya Muslim community. This is a message from him at the 10th anniversary celebration of Humanity First Canada and USA. His Holiness writes, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. I congratulate all the workers of Humanity First USA and Canada on its 10th anniversary. I pray that Allah the Almighty bless you and your dedicated teams of volunteers and enables you, all of you, to serve mankind in the best of your abilities, and in this way earn the true pleasure of the Creator of all the worlds. May many people benefit from your humanitarian assistance, and may the thanks they express in their hours of helplessness encourage your volunteers to help even more, regardless of any words of gratitude. May your organization grow from its strength to strength, and may you be the stalwarts of truly putting humanity first. Ameen. Wassalam, Mirza Masroor Ahmad, head of the worldwide Ahmadiyya Muslim community. This is a prayer that has enabled us to move with this journey, that has inspired us, that has protected us in this journey of 10 years. We are making a difference, and I'm going to show you how today. It is 10 years of humanitarian service starting in 2004 and continuing until now, present time, and will continue. But this whole story started with His Holiness Mirza Tahir Ahmad, the fourth Caliph of Ahmadiyya Muslim community and founder of Humanity First. He was inspired by the humanitarian work that we could do when he saw the human suffering. He encouraged the different branches, in countries, to create an organization that is without any race, religion, color, or creed, and the sole purpose is to come together from various faiths, various cultures, various groups, and do selfless humanitarian services. Why Humanity First? Humanity First is only one of the 80,000 organizations in Canada that are charitable organizations, but we are different. And you know why? Because people celebrate World Hunger Day on October 16th by doing speeches, by doing programs, probably updating websites. What Humanity First does on that day is we feed about 40,000 people that was fed this year only in Niger, Nigeria, and Senegal. That's the kind of celebration we do. That's the kind of World Hunger Day we celebrate. We are different from any other organization because we have international scope. We are registered in 44 countries. We are a volunteer-based organization. We have a volunteer training program. We have low administrative cost, and we have both urgent and long-term projects. These are some of the list of the projects that you're seeing on the screen that we do around the world in these countries. And disaster response is our expertise, core projects. You can see that in the last 10 years, we have responded to hurricanes, tsunamis, droughts, floods, and earthquakes. Did we make a difference? Yes, we did. Just quickly, I don't have the time to show you the pictorial tour of 10 years, nor I can go into details. For that, we have left a souvenir on your table. You will see the details of the projects that we have done during the last 10 years. But just to give you a highlight, you can see that 3.5 million people have benefited from us in the last 10 years. 2.5 million people have received the clean water. 48,000 people have learned a new skill through Humanity First. 180,000 students were assisted through our Knowledge for Life program. 210,000 people received healthcare services through doctors, paramedics, nurses, and healthcare workers of Humanity First. 550,000, 500,000 people were assisted during disaster reliefs and responses that we did during the last 10 years. 350,000 people have received food, not just once, but on a regular basis. That, I think I've lost, okay, got it back. So we have received this, 350,000 people have received food from us. We have assisted 390 refugees who are resettled in Canada, and we are glad to have Minister Alexander. He's continuing to help us in resettling more refugees. We have been very successful in bringing these people who have been tortured because of their faith. We have built one model village in Niger. We have a global impact around the world, but just to give you an idea of 1 year's worth of work, I have just given a quick highlight of 2013 and 14. In 2013, because 2014 numbers are not yet ready, in 2013, we installed 249 pumps, which is enabling more than 1 million people receiving clean water. We have been helping 1,722 orphans. 46,000 students have benefited in just 1 year. 20,850 victims were helped. And 67,000 food clients have received food from us in just 1 year. Now, coming to 2014, I'm going to quickly go through one project only because we don't have enough time to go through all the projects. But it was no less than what we did in 2013 or previous years. We have fed 40,000 people this year. We have built 2 schools. We have 23,000 victims assisted during different disasters. We have been helping in Philippines, Niger, India, Pakistan, Jordan, and Haiti, people who have been suffering because of displacement, because of natural disasters, because of human conflicts, because of wars. And as a sample, I am just highlighting the latest project, which the Prime Minister of Canada today mentioned, that after Typhoon Haiyan in Philippines, we responded, and we are still working in there on Panay Island. Our headquarters is based in Rojas City, and in Philippines, we have helped about 10,000 people recently. What we did actually was we built permanent shelters. When we went there, we saw this. Look at this picture. This is the situation. This was photographed by one of our volunteers. This is how it looked like. Homes were broken and everything. We built 308, we are building actually 384 homes, out of which about 170 completed and rest are in process. About 284 homes out of this is being built through the funding from Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade and Development. They are sponsoring this 284 homes and the 2 schools. We are building 2 schools, and we are doing many other humanitarian projects over there. Quick glance of how our volunteer work. You can see our volunteers bringing the building material to build homes on a boat. This picture is from Pacific Ocean. The supplies are being brought by our volunteers. They carry it from there to the homes. We are very glad to have the help of Canadian DART team. Canadian DART, the Army team, was there, who helped us in many of the work over there, just like providing a helicopter to carry some of the things on the island, which was pretty much impossible for us to do, but they helped us there. These were the sheets that the helicopter brought, but we had to carry them on, through the volunteers and local people to the place where it was built. Just see on an island how construction material is being carried to the site where the homes will be built. Then we started constructing these homes. This is the natural style of building homes on that island. Our volunteers were up on the roof helping, along with the local people. This is how they used to live before, and this is how they started living now. This is a home built by Humanity First over there. We continue to build. This is a series of, a whole village has been built by us. These are very sturdy, cyclone-proof, typhoon-proof shelters that has been built and has been allocated to those victims who lost their homes. This is another view of the same shelter project where we have nicely, the beauty of these homes, they may look very simple, but they are very sturdy. And recently when the representative from Department of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Development visited, they said that from quality perspective and strength perspective, Humanity First homes are very, very durable and better than many other homes that were built by other countries. We also provided clean water during that time. We installed water purification that helped about 3,500 people in the provinces that we took with us, gave to local communities. They started getting clean water over there. We also distributed emergency supplies, 600 water survival boxes and other emergency supplies. These survival kits are good for 1 month for a family. We gave it to each of the family on the island and other areas. And this distribution of supplies was helped by the Philippine Army and the Canadian Army as well. This is the distribution truck that was given to us. We were distributing. Now, the school project was a major project. We built a school on an island where nobody wanted to go. It was a big challenge to take stuff over there to construct. We partnered with a local construction company who is a contractor with local help. We saw this school totally devastated by the typhoon. We had to bring that down into rubbles. Our volunteers helped in cleanup, salvaging things that we could salvage. This is, the typhoon really ripped off this building completely. Students really helped us picking up the books and seeing what can be saved. They were these books were very dear to these students. And we put our banner, we started our work on this island, and look what we have now. Right in the middle of Pacific Ocean on a small island, Humanity First has given this community a school, which is very important for these children because they love it to be there. This is a picture, another view of the school that we have recently built. Children, when they saw on the inauguration day, they just ran towards the school, totally excited. And this is a picture of another view of that school. Happily there, very much thankful to the community, to the Humanity First organization, and ready to acquire knowledge. And this made a thank you board for us. Now, coming to the reason why we are here, while we are celebrating the 10th anniversary, celebration is only an excuse. The real intention is to continue our journey to the next decade. We want to start this journey with helping the most vulnerable people, the biggest disaster of our time, the most serious crisis, the Ebola crisis. We heard that it's going to be an international crisis. The government of Canada came forward and offered millions of dollars and also sent military to help over there. WHO said that 15,000 cases have been reported to date, 5,459 people have died to date because of this. And in some parts, while it's controlled, in Sierra Leone, it is still killing people. And as a result, food shortage, sickness, poverty, and orphanages have been there because of this disease. This is an area, I think you won't be able to see the areas, but there are 3 main areas where we have set up command center and we are working there. This is our local team who is actually working day and night, 24/7, to help in the Ebola response. And our response is to provide the personal protective equipment, training to the people, to the school, to the children, education of the communities, and provide antibacterial supplies. This is just a description of our response, which I've just described, that medical response will be there, social mobilization will be there, infection control, and other social services will be provided in this response. This is a grim picture. I apologize for showing this picture to you, but this is an everyday scene in Sierra Leone. It was in Liberia, Guinea, and Nigeria, and Mali, but is still the scene in Sierra Leone. There are not enough people to bury the bodies, not even people not ready to touch these bodies. Just see another scene that is a real picture that's right now happening in Sierra Leone. These are very latest picture, not an old one. Whole town has been affected. What we are doing, we are there on the ground. We are in Sierra Leone, we are in Liberia, we are in Mali. We have the command center ready to help. This is a picture of our command center. This is the hospital, one of the hospitals that we have partnered with. And this is the ambulance, this is the service that we have already started. We are providing cleaning facilities where disinfection can be done. This is our lead person in the command center, his picture. What we are doing really is we're going to the bus stops and crowded places, train stations, airports, holding handheld thermometers, which are contactless, meaning you don't have to touch the patient, and you can take the temperature, ask a question, and if you see or you suspect any infection or an Ebola symptoms are there, they are advised to go to the hospital, they are immediately quarantined. We are just going out in public to ensure the outbreak is controlled, and as a result of this, we have caught a number of cases, we have been able to control the spread. Just look at this picture. This thermometer is handheld from a distance. You just point and shoot, and you get the temperature. So easy to, one simple device, so easy to prevent the outbreak. Our team is going village to village to show videos, to distribute literatures, to train them about personal hygiene. And this is the team that is going in, outreach team that is going out from village to village, training and providing antibacterial things. Another community that has benefited from our training. Another team in another region that is helping out over there. Full training is provided to them. We are also installing clean water supplies over there in villages where clean water is not common. And our objective is really to control Ebola spread, relieve human suffering, and protect others. This protect others is in reality going to translate protecting us. We don't want this infection to go to other countries, and we definitely don't want this infection to come to Canada. So helping them is in reality we are helping ourselves. It's a great feeling. I thank you very much for being here. It's an act of goodness. It's an act of charity. It's an act of volunteerism. You can come and join us, become a volunteer. You can donate and be a helping hand in doing this work. Whatever you do, you are our partner in putting the humanity first. I thank you very much for being here. May God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Daoud. You have taken us through past 10 years in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I know you weren't able to cover everything that Humanity First has done here in Canada and internationally, but I assure you that the crowd here appreciates what Humanity First is doing. The next item on our agenda is guest speakers. Politicians, we have politicians from provincial level and local level as well. I am sorry if I miss anyone, and I'm sorry that not everyone might have the opportunity to come up to the stage and speak. We are working with a very limited time. I would first like to start off inviting Honorable Chris Alexander again. He's been already introduced before. Briefly, he's currently the Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, and he is the Minister of Parliament representing Ajax, Ontario. Chris?
Thank you very much. Well, thanks again. Assalamu alaikum again. And I'll be very brief because I know you have a busy program tonight. First, thank you and congratulations, as the Prime Minister said, for the immense contribution you've made, not only to relieving suffering in the world through Humanity First, but to Canada's reputation, to Canada's capacity to respond to crises, to floods, to earthquakes, to outbreaks of infectious diseases. We've all seen the pictures of Ebola in Guinea and Liberia and Sierra Leone. And the Prime Minister himself was recently in Dakar, where this was at the center of attention for La Francophonie, as it has been at the center of attention at the United Nations. Canada, in addition to the measures that you have very nobly taken through Humanity First, is now recruiting medical volunteers, humanitarian workers on a larger scale. We have the capacity to look after them. We have the capacity to support them. And in just a couple of days after that appeal went out, there were more than 100 Canadians who've come forward. We anticipate many more. We are at the forefront as a donor nation to efforts to fight Ebola. I think the second or third top donor. And that effort is only further leveraged by the investments that you are making on this urgent basis. And then, as the Prime Minister said, we should be very proud as Canadians because the vaccine and the treatment, which were talked about in your video, are both Canadian inventions. They are both the fruit of Canadian research and innovation now being trialed on an urgent basis in Nova Scotia, in the UK, in the United States. And so we all have an interest in seeing those long-term solutions brought fully to bear. Secondly, thank you so much for your response to terrorism here in Canada, to terrorism in the world. I lived and worked representing Canada, but also for the United Nations in Afghanistan for 6 years. I've seen firsthand what this threat represents, just as your community has seen it firsthand in Pakistan and elsewhere. And we know very well, we have known because we have been speaking out about it for years, who some of the Shia state sponsors of terrorism are. We know about Hezbollah, we know about Hamas, we know about Iran's role. But what we are seeing today is something we haven't seen before in Iraq and Syria. And it is terrorist groups with state sponsors, some on the Shia side, some on the Sunni side, confronting one another in a terrible, unending, deep conflict, unlike anything we have seen before, because ISIL is worse than Al-Qaeda. ISIL, to my mind, is worse than the Taliban. They have more fighters. They are prepared to commit crimes that are far worse. And we will need to stand together as Canadians, and we will need to speak clearly as individuals of conscience and individuals who care about the populations of these countries to see that our efforts to start to bring security to these troubled regions, our efforts through the Royal Canadian Air Force, through our military advisors on the ground, through our humanitarian effort to help millions of people displaced by this conflict bear fruit. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen without a more honest international discussion about who is really bankrolling these groups, about where they really came from. But we know that we have excellent partners in you in continuing these efforts to be honest at home and active abroad to stop radicalization and to stop the spread of terrorism. As you know, this is a Prime Minister who is not afraid to say the truth, whose reputation in the world for principle is only growing and has grown massively. Just this year, he's been strong on Ukraine, he's been strong on Sri Lanka when the Commonwealth was meeting there, he's been strong in response to suffering in the Philippines, now in West Africa and elsewhere. And I think for me as Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, to serve under that leadership, that quality of leadership is truly a great privilege, because it is rare in today's world, because I think it is quite unprecedented even in Canadian history. And our immigration programs, their strength, their ability to attract talent from around the world, their ability to help us build the diversity that we all celebrate in this country to ever new levels of achievement is extraordinary. I was just at a meeting in Paris on Monday and Tuesday where the OECD ministers came together to talk about immigration issues, and Canada was asked to chair that meeting for 2 days because we are seen as a model and an example of integrity in immigration, of generosity in immigration. And when it comes to refugees, we have already accommodated 22,000 from Iraq and Syria since the start of those conflicts, mostly those most persecuted, mostly those representing vulnerable ethnic and religious minorities. But as you know, we will continue to do more to be generous. We will continue to do more to reform our system, to make sure that immigration serves our economic needs, to make sure that immigration does not make women and girls vulnerable to forced marriage, to honor killings, to some of the practices which rarely, but still too often, come to our shores and are even here without the additional factor of immigration to inflame them. We are active on all of these fronts. We are partners with you in keeping Canada strong, as it says here on this podium. And thank you for the generosity that you're celebrating tonight and the strong, active role in the world that you are contributing to tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you for our invitation, and thank you for a great evening. All the best.
Thank you, Chris, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be here with us. We thank you for your continued support as well. Our next speaker for this evening needs no introduction. He's well known to our community, and he's a member of the Provincial Parliament for Vaughan, Ontario. He was first elected an Ontario legislator in September 2012. He's a strong supporter of Humanity First as well. I would like to invite Stephen Del Duca to the stage, please.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. I'm very honored to be here with all of you this evening for this wonderful event, for this wonderful celebration, 10 years of extraordinary success for this organization, an organization that's inspiring to all of us. And I'm delighted to be here tonight as well on behalf of the Premier of Ontario, the Honourable Kathleen Wynne, and the Ontario government. I understand that one of my colleagues, the Member of Provincial Parliament from Brampton-Springdale, Harinder Mali, will be joining us at some point if she's not already in the room. And I wanted to welcome her and say thank you to her for being here with us all this evening. As I was watching the video and listening to some of the other remarks that have been given here this evening, and I was thinking back, reading through the program and the magazine that appears, that is on many of the tables in the room, it actually took me back, and I listened very closely, of course, to Dr. Dowd speak. I remember the first time that you talked to me, Dr. Dowd, about Humanity First. I think it was in 2006, 2007. This is before I became the MPP for Vaughan. And I remember it was in relation to some of the work that you were undertaking in Haiti. And I remember you talking to me about it with such passion and such dedication and such dynamic energy, and that desire to put humanity first, that desire to give back and to make sure that nobody is left behind. And I look out across the room tonight and see so many people here to yet again provide such generous support for this undertaking, for the cause that we're here to celebrate and to support. And as I said, it takes me back to that conversation, and I'm reminded time and time again in talking to Dr. Dowd and other members of the Ahmadiyya community, of course, Lal Khan Malik and others, about the support not just internationally and the support abroad, which has been stressed here this evening and is so crucial, but of course the support also that occurs here in Ontario, here locally. And I am thrilled not only to be Ontario's Minister of Transportation, but of course to be the MPP for Vaughan. The community is the location, situated the headquarters of both Humanity First Canada and the Ahmadiyya community being located in my riding. And I've seen firsthand that passion and that support and that dedication. And so I want to say thank you to you for the work that you do. Thank you for 10 years of extraordinary success, and I know many, many more years of success to come. And to everyone here in the room this evening and everyone else involved in pulling not only tonight's event together, but being at the very heart of that generosity, I want to say thank you. And I hope to be back for many, many years to come to be supportive. I do have a greeting with me this evening from the Premier of Ontario. I'm going to take just a quick moment to deliver the greetings on her behalf very briefly. On behalf of the Government of Ontario, I am proud to extend warm greetings to everyone attending the 10th anniversary Humanity First Fundraising Dinner in support of Ebola outbreak response in Africa. I would first like to commend Humanity First for their decade-long commitment to charitable work. It is heartening that once again, faced with a tragic loss of life that resulted from the rapid spread of a virus, that this organization has answered the call. I am proud that our government provided $3 million to help frontline responders contain the outbreak, and that many Ontarians, such as those in attendance this evening, have followed suit with private donations. I commend your goodwill and your altruism, which I know will help those in the affected areas in Africa, and I also applaud the dedicated members and volunteers of Humanity First for quickly responding to the situation. Please accept my best wishes for a highly successful fundraiser, and it's signed the Honourable Kathleen Wynne, Premier of Ontario. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen, for the kind words. I now like to call upon Judy Sgro, the Member of Parliament and House of Commons representing the York West riding. She does not need any formal introduction. She has been to almost every event that we have held in this very hall. So, Judy, I'd like to thank you for your support and thank you for being here.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you all. President Malik, Dr. Dowd, to the senior elders that are here, and most importantly to all of my friends that are here this evening. I want to congratulate each and every one of you for the tremendous work you are doing on behalf of the whole world, but most importantly for being Canada's face internationally. You, over this 10 years of growth and work that you've done, when people see Humanity First, they right away recognize that's Canada. And I want to congratulate you for doing that, because there are areas where Canada is not visible. And Humanity First has always managed to be there. No matter how limited your funding, no matter how limited your volunteers, whether it was the Philippines or Nigeria, every time I hear of a disaster, I know Humanity First will be there. And I'm very proud to be part of the organization and to be considered to be a friend of Humanity First. I bring you greetings on behalf of Justin Trudeau, who unfortunately is in St. John's, Newfoundland. I don't have to say anything different. You know there's a campaign coming. And Mr. Trudeau is off doing what he needs to do to try and earn the trust and confidence of Canadians. So he has sent a message that I will read to you this evening to all the volunteers and the leaders of Humanity First. On behalf of the Liberal Caucus, I want to tell you it's a true honor to be here to mark and celebrate the 10th anniversary of Humanity First. For a decade, you have worked to create a future by faithfully practicing the important human quality of charities. In this vein, you have opted to focus your efforts on providing nourishment for the hungry, and in doing so, you have likewise provided an essential spiritual nourishment to your volunteers, clients, and to the larger community alike. With this in mind, each and every one of those involved should be commended and congratulated for yet another inspirational example of that neighbor helping neighbor philosophy that has served to advance Humanity First and continues to advance the world. In the years ahead, may peace and benevolence continue to guide all of you in your spiritual familion in your reward. I am sure His Holiness is very, very proud of the 10 years that you have done. I had the occasion to again meet His Holiness this last summer at the convention in London. And I am sure that his prayers are continuing to guide each and every one of you, but each and every one of us who live in a world where we all seek peace and unity. So thank you so very much. Please enjoy the rest of the evening, and good luck in the next 10 years. Dr. Dowd, can I present this to you?
Thank you, Judy. I'd just like to confirm if Member of Parliament Patrick Brown is in the hall. Or Ed Holder? Okay, thank you. The next item on our program is the check presentation and address by respected Mr. Lal Khan Malik, who's the President of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat Canada.
Members of Parliament, members of Provincial Parliament, and other dignitaries, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon all of you. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community has always been in the forefront in serving mankind. In addition to the spiritual assistance, the community also provides physical help to alleviate human suffering. The Holy Quran tells us, "You are the best people raised for the good of mankind." This means that we have been raised for the good of others, to serve mankind. Service to mankind is the essence of Islam. Kindness and love for humanity are our core values. The Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, had two missions. One was to serve God, and the other to serve humanity. No other human being has left an impression so deep and so permanent as has the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. His kindness was limitless and without any discrimination. Similarly, the promised Messiah, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, peace be upon him, the founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, said that sympathy for all is a moral obligation and a duty. That religion is no religion that does not inculcate sympathy, nor does that man deserve to be called a man who does not have sympathy in him. The recent outbreak of Ebola virus in West Africa has affected more than 15,000 people and has killed more than 5,000. At a time of such human suffering, the Ahmadiyya Muslim community cannot be a silent spectator. The community has already established hospitals that have now partnered with Humanity First to respond to this outbreak. The community in Canada is pleased to offer a token amount of $50,000 to Humanity First to assist them with their efforts to respond to this outbreak. We thank the volunteers of Humanity First for this noble cause and for organizing this evening's event. May Allah bless them all, and thank you very much.
Respected Amir Saab, Lal Khan Malik Saab has been always very supportive of Humanity First. The members of the Jamaat have been very supportive of Humanity First. As part of our 10th anniversary, and to thank the community and thank our respected Amir Saab, it's a token of gift that we are giving to respected Amir Saab.
Without the generosity of our donors, many of the projects would not be possible. Similarly, this evening, there are many key donors that came forward and donated towards the 10th anniversary special event today. I'm going to call upon a few people. I request you to please come to the stage along with I believe you have the check. First person I'd like to invite is Mr. Amir Khan, who has donated $10,000. I also request Mr. Iftikhar Majoka to please come close to the stage, and Mr. Kaleem Chaudhry. Thank you, Mr. Amir. Next is Mr. Iftikhar Majoka. His company name is Right Time Employment. He has donated $5,000 for this event. He might have stepped out. There he is. Thank you. Mr. Kaleem Chaudhry, from his entire family, he has donated $5,000. Sorry, Zaim Chaudhry and Kaleem Chaudhry. From the Chaudhry family. Thank you. Dr. Anwar Rizwan from New Life Medical, $5,000. Anwar Rizwan, sir. Thank you. Mr. Ashur Salim, $5,000. Thank you. And from WMFI, I'd like to invite Mr. Fan Coker for the amount of $3,000. $3,450 to be exact. He has already presented the check to us earlier. Thank you so much. This takes us to the next agenda item, which is dinner. Dinner is ready. I request everyone to please remain in your seats. Volunteers will come to your table and escort you to a specific buffet. We have 4 buffets in this hall. Please remain seated. One of the volunteers will come to your table and they will tell you which buffet to go to. Thank you.
And I know that you do it with heart and soul, and you do it because of your humanity, your humanitarian approach, and the kind of values that you share with all of the world's people in need, especially those in need, and for which we are very grateful. Thank you. Enjoy the evening, and I am sincerely grateful for the opportunity to come and spend a few minutes with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fantino, for the kind words. Can I request everyone to please take a seat? We have one more guest speaker and then one more item after that speaker. I'm requesting everyone to please sit down. Our next speaker that has just joined us is the Member of Provincial Parliament who was elected in 2014. She represents the riding of Brampton-Springdale. I request Harinder Malhi to please come to the stage. Thank you.
Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you again for your kind invitation and for having me here today. I am so proud to be here as your Member of Provincial Parliament for Brampton-Springdale. I'm proud to be here as well to support the 10th anniversary of the Humanity First Fundraising Dinner in support of the Ebola breakout in Africa. You're doing so much great work, and I want to congratulate you on all of your work and for the community to come together and do this. It's absolutely terrific. On behalf of our government, I would also like to acknowledge and congratulate Humanity First for the charity work that you do. The outbreak in Africa is tragic, but with help from fantastic organizations like yours, we can make a difference. Your humanitarian work is a great example of how Ontarians come together to help those in need. I admire your dedication and all the time and effort that you have committed to this important issue. Congratulations once again on all of your good work. And I also want to thank you, as this is the first time I've had the opportunity to visit the MDA community after the election. We've had a great working relationship with the last 20 years. As most of you may know, that my father has had a great relationship with the MDA community. He was the elected member of Parliament for Bramley-Gore-Malton. I look forward to working with this community, going forward, working together on any issues that arise. My doors are always open to you, and I appreciate all of the support that you've given me prior to this as a school board trustee and now as an MPP. Thank you again, and I look forward to working with you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Harinder. The next program on the agenda is I call upon Dr. Rasim Daud to introduce some of the Humanity First projects and sponsorship opportunities for the general public.
We are coming to the end of the program. This is the last item, and after that, today's evening will come to end. I request your patience and only about 10 minutes of your time. If you all can sit down, you're going to enjoy this. Ten more minutes of your patience, and we're going to start the program. In the meantime, while people are sitting, I want to bring to your attention this book, this souvenir that has been left on the table. If you need more copies, we have these at the reception. This is a story of 10 years. I encourage you to go through this. You would see the work of Humanity First in detail. Tonight's evening was not enough to cover everything, but you will be able to cover that by taking this home. You will also see a door hanger on your table. We want you to go take this with you and hang it at your door. On the bottom part, there's a card, a tear-off card, which you can complete and leave it at the reception. This is going to give you an additional opportunity to help the humanitarian projects that are coming up in 2015 and afterwards. So please take advantage of this. Take it with you. If you need more cards, they will be available. Now, on the slides. Okay. Slides will run correctly. Start. We'll have the slides up on the screen. What this is all about is actually being able to volunteer. I can assure you, and I encourage you, and I challenge you to please come and taste the humanitarian work by doing it yourself. You have opportunities locally in Canada and internationally. There is absolutely no comparison of doing something yourself. When you are on the ground and you are able to provide clean water to someone, it makes your day. When you pick up a box of food and deliver to someone who is in need of food, it changes your perspective. I invite you to come and pack a box of food. The time that you're going to spend putting food in a box, you'll be thinking of the person who is going to benefit from it. But no, it's not possible for everyone. I would request a little bit of silence. It is very difficult to compete with this noise. May I request everyone's attention, please? May I request everybody's attention? Can I have your attention, please? I request, please, everybody's attention for a few minutes only. Thank you very much. We have a request from many of the donors that they want to sponsor some of our projects, and it would be very difficult to tell you about those projects if there is not silence in the room. So please look at the slides, and if you would like to volunteer, you're most welcome to come and join to one of our missions in Africa, in Asia, in South America. But if you're not able to do that, you can participate in those projects by sponsoring one of the items that are going to come on the screen. There are volunteers who can come to you and take your pledge, or you can complete the form quietly and leave it at the reception. Just to give you a perspective, just for $250, you can hire a worker to relieve the Ebola pain in the community. This worker is going to go to villages and help prevention of the outbreak, prevention of the spread. For $250 a month, or just 1 month, you can really save many lives. The next project is providing prevention supplies. For $60, you can provide a family to take care of Ebola patient so that they can protect themselves. As little as $60 can save lives. A non-contact thermometer, it's only $70. Just imagine, by catching patients on the street, in the crowd, can save lives. And this can be done by as little as $70. So you can buy a thermometer, and as long as that thermometer is going to be used, as long as people's life are going to be saved because of the use of thermometer, you're going to earn the blessings. For $50 a month in Greater Toronto area, you can feed a family. For $50 a month, just imagine it's less than a cup of coffee that you drink on a daily basis. If you cut down on 1 cup of coffee or tea, or you can just have $1.50 a day saved, you can feed a family. This sponsorship is very popular. Because of this, more than 1,200 families are benefiting in GTA. We invite you to sponsor 1 family, 2 family, as many as you want. You can come and donate today, or you can come and volunteer and help us in packing the food and delivering the food. You will taste that passion, that feeling that is not possible without actually indulging in that. One of our popular projects in Africa is water wells. By spending $5,000, we provide water to a community for forever. With each well, 1,000 to 1,500 people benefit. Just imagine your expense of $5,000 means lifetime of water for a village. You can sponsor a village, sponsor a water well, or you can sponsor a village also, where we provide water, electricity, and plumbing services so that the big village becomes a model village. The cost of a model village is $100,000. Those who can afford, those who have business, they can sponsor a village also. In Philippines, the houses that we showed, you can build one of those houses for as little as $1,000. Many times you spend $1,000 to repair your car. Sometimes you spend more than $1,000 to do some home repairs. For $1,000 in Philippines, you will be able to provide a shelter for a family of 5. A typhoon-proof, cyclone-proof shelter where they can live safely. They don't have to go out, they don't have to rebuild their home after the next typhoon. By the way, There is one typhoon right now coming towards Philippines, and people are taking precaution. For $1,000, a school supplies to a school will benefit the children for a whole year. These schools only require supplies which is going to cost us about $1,000, and about 200 students are going to benefit throughout the year. Our very popular project among ladies is Sewing Center. We have a sewing school in many countries in Africa where ladies are learning to sew, and they're becoming an earning member of the family. To buy a machine, it only costs $100. By spending $100, you are empowering a woman to really earn for her living, earn a decent living. And we have a success story where a girl who learned from our school, Humanity First Sewing School, we gave her a machine for $100, and now she's making about $1,000 a month. She has about 10 employees working for her. We have medical missions in many countries, and can you believe that a cataract surgery only costs $150? You can restore a vision of somebody by spending $150. In Canada, many of you may not know this, that in Canada, we are the provider of last resort, meaning if you don't have insurance, if you cannot afford, if you cannot get a glass from anywhere else, we will provide you a free pair of glasses. It costs about $200, and you can buy a glass to a person who needs one and cannot afford one, as low as $200. And for just as little as $35 a month, you can sponsor an orphan in Africa, who we will take care of. We provide schooling, clothing, shelter, food, and health care to a child whose parents have died. For $35 a month, you can take care of a child in Africa. You can buy a computer for an IT school for $500, where someone, by learning the computer, can be gainfully employed in the society. We are successfully running computer training schools in many countries. So these were the projects I wanted to introduce. Before you leave, I want to request you to be part of our 10th anniversary celebration by either sponsoring one of these projects. I want everyone to participate. We would prefer that 100% participation is there, or just pledge $10 a month. It's the 10th anniversary. We are requesting a $10 a month pledge. But we want to announce that everybody who attended this event pledged $10 a month. It's not a big amount, it's a small amount. But it will make a big difference. Imagine $1,000 people pledging $10 a month will make a huge difference for Humanity First. With this note, I thank you very much, and I am confident that you're going to be part of our journey into the next decade. You're going to participate by making a pledge today, or sponsoring a project that we have shown you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending our event this evening. This formally ends the program. We appreciate your support, and we hope to look forward for future support from you. Thank you.
School, and we are very much happy because the Humanity First Canada have rehabilitated our school.
I request all the volunteers that made this event possible tonight to please come to the stage for a photo. All the volunteers in the lobby, in the kitchen area, in the food serving, in registration, everyone please come to the stage.
Because the classes are now regularly handled by the teachers using the
So in the front.
Zoom. So again, I would like to say thank you to the Humanity First Canada for the big help given to Olotayan Integrated School.
In partnership with the Canadian Department of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Development.
Any volunteers in the lobby, please come to the stage. And also the audio-video team.
These projects include the construction of 3 new educational institutions and also providing over 280
And Dawood Ahmed.
for the victims of the super typhoon.
Now the new rehabilitated physical service with handles from during our teachers meeting. Okay, this is now the grade 1 classroom with 18 pupils. Nanay Ayla, A. Masipag, B. Masungit, C. Mapagmahal. We are now entering in the grade 2 classroom with 24 pupils.
I would like to thank the Humanity First Canada for coming over in the municipality and extended help to those who need in Ibisan. And the Humanity First Canada will provide 100 units of services.
कहाँ खाना खा रहे थे पहले यहाँ खा रहा था फिर वो खड़े हैं चलो पता की वजह है स्ट्रेच होएगा ना नहीं पहले सीधा सी वो चलाया
Especially